This is a collaboration with Vitaliy, and you need to check out his video. We are talking about basically the luxury of the town car versus the practicality, beastliness of the Crown Vic. You can see you would never do this in a town car. And this is because we had snow. This is day 4 after it snowed, and it's still here on the ground. We've basically been close to freezing every day, and you see the mud that I'm driving through. Now this driveway that you're looking at was completely ice yesterday. Even the main driveway into the shop, still a lot of snow and ice on it, although yesterday it was completely covered. Hopefully today the sun will melt the rest of that. I'm just going to wash the car while we talk, and I know it probably seems stupid to wash the car and then have to drive back through that, so I'm not going to do a real thorough job on the tires and wheels, and hopefully when I drive out of here I won't get a lot of that mud thrown up on there, but you never know. The town car has the basic underpinnings of the Crown Vic, so it does have a lot of the tank style build, but because it is a luxury car and most of us don't think of ever like off-roading that this car gets, or picking up something and towing with, I tend to think of the town car as more luxurious, because I don't ever worry about throwing anything at this car. I treat it like an F-150. Tow with it, haul stuff. You know, the other day I filled up the trunk with nasty firewood that had been sitting outside. Had bugs and spiders and everything else on it. And just not a thought at all that I might be ruining something in there. This trunk has probably seen a whole lot worse than today. And there's definitely a bit of irony in the town car and Grand Marquis being thought of as more luxurious and comfortable and so forth. I actually find this car to be very comfortable to drive, very comfortable on, not that I drive a whole lot of distance, but whenever I'm in this car I don't ever feel like I'm sitting on an uncomfortable seat or anything. I always feel like there's plenty of room, plenty of comfort. I'm surrounded by a tank-like structure, so I always feel safe in these, even though I know I have a lot of pickup truck and SUV drivers that think that they're bulletproof because they're driving a bigger vehicle, and I think the statistics don't bear out their safety, because they are probably more likely to get into a wreck to start with because they can't handle well, and of course a lot of the people that drive them have no business driving them because they don't know how to handle the vehicle. So they get out there and out of control because they think, oh, I'm in a big vehicle so I can do what I want. I think if they ran into this thing they'd be shocked how sturdy and durable it is. That being said, I of course always am trying to avoid, and knock on wood, to this day I've never had an at-fault accident. If I had the wreck, this would be the car I'd want to do it in. And as far as the utility of this vehicle and the luxury of the others, the technology, even the newest town car has got 2011 technology in it. You can go out and buy a nicer stereo, you can buy LED lights, you can buy USB chargers, you can buy all the newer tech and put it right in here and basically go on down the road. I don't think that's as big an advantage as it might have been, you know, in 2011 buying this versus buying a town car. I think it was a much bigger advantage to the town car. This is probably the sloppiest car wash you've ever seen. Mainly because, like I said, I know I gotta drive it through that mud. I don't like it to go right on without. Some of the things about this car that are considered to be less, I actually think are better. For example, the climate controls. When you have automatic climate controls, there's just all sorts of things that can go wrong and break, and it's usually more expensive to fix. Or you get somebody like my wife that I'm hot, cranks the temperature way down. I'm cold, cranks the temperature way up, back and forth, doesn't really understand how to utilize automatic temperature controls. Whereas this, you know, you set the temperature you want, you set the air direction you want, you set the fan speed you want, and you change it if you need to. Now, I don't know if the town car has it or not, but the memory seats would be a nice feature to have that I don't have. So I will say that would be one nice thing to have, to where if I'm driving, I just push the one and go on the road. My wife wanted to drive, she could press 2. He tends to need the seat way forward, and I need it almost all the way back. I like to rinse with this one that sprays the soap. It just feels like you got more options. The one that sprays the soap just doesn't do a good job, in my opinion, for rinsing. It's hard to get the water flow just the way you want it. I have no doubt that there are probably a lot of luxurious things about the town car. If I ever got to drive one, maybe it would change my mind, I don't know. But I have always been interested in performance, 0 to 60, cornering, that sort of stuff. And I realize these are not the most powerful, fastest vehicles, but they are very competent autocross type setup. I mean, you can get around town very easily in them. And they have enough get up and go where you're not going to outrun, Corvettes and stuff like that, but the power is kind of enough without being too much to get you out of control. Like it's hard to get this thing sideways. It's hard to break the tires loose. But not that I'm ever in pursuits or anything, but I feel like if I was ever chasing somebody, they're not going to get away. I mean, unless they've just got some basic supercar. But car that's got a lot more horsepower than this. They'd have a hard time getting away from me. They were having a corner and all that stuff. This car is really set up for that. And it doesn't seem to have a harsh ride, in my opinion. To me, it's a very comfortable ride. Like I said, I have no problem riding in this vehicle. Way more comfortable than a lot of vehicles that I've ever been in, including some higher dollar, more luxury ones. I had a 2008 Honda Odyssey Touring, and I'm not gonna lie, that thing was very comfortable for road trips. Had that glove leather-like seating and very cushy, very supportive. That's another one that would get up and go pretty well. It would take this off the line. Now this would catch up, and this would tear it up in the higher speed acceleration. I'll do a video about how to make these faster, and I'll give you a hint. The short answer is, change out the throttle body by itself, don't change out a mass air sensor by itself. All those little things just empty in your wallet more than anything. You're not going to appreciate, put it this way, it's not going to be a noticeable improvement. The thing that's really nice about these is price and availability of parts. Now, I don't know, maybe the town cars are just as cheap to get some of the stuff. I'm not talking about, obviously there's parts that are completely interchangeable in both vehicles, so those are going to be the same price, same availability. I'm talking about the parts that are specific to this car, like the headlights and marker lights and stuff. I know those are different on the town car, and I know that you can find like this and this really cheap. Obviously you don't care about getting OEM. I don't know if the town car ones are as cheap, but I don't think they are. And it also seems like there weren't as many changes on these Crown Vics as there were on the town cars over the years. So, you can go to a junkyard a lot of times and find parts for these, and they're oftentimes interchangeable year to year, or it seems like the town cars had more unique features each year. So would I rather have this or a Lincoln Town Car? I've never driven a Lincoln Town Car. I have to say, they intrigue me. I think they're beautiful, and they're probably a very nice vehicle, and if I drove one, maybe I would change my mind, but again, caveat not having driven one, I would say I would keep the Police Interceptor. These chamois are funny. They need to be a little bit damp before they absorb very well. But if they get too wet, they don't absorb. And of course, your windows, you still got to go back over them with the microfiber, or you'll get streaks. I don't know if you can see the streaks or not, but I can see them. And I can tell you, when you drive in the sun, hits the right angle, you can't see. All you see are the streaks. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Vitaliy says on this topic. He missed out on doing our collaboration when we talked about police versus civilian a while back. I'll put a link up to that video. And speaking of collaborations, I really enjoy these collaborations. So if you want to do a collaboration with me or with a bunch of us, shoot me an email. It's real easy. dad@wjhandydad.com, and I check those usually daily. So if you have a good video idea that you want to collaborate on, let me know. I don't care if you got a big channel, small channel, no subscribers, million subscribers. It's all good. We can make collaborations that work. Share our knowledge and experience. It's always a good thing. So after you like and comment on this video, go watch Vitaliy's video and do the same for him. It's important for all of us YouTubers to help each other out, grow our channels. One thing I've heard Vitaliy talking about on his channel is how like his Russian metals videos tend to bomb, and that the only things that seem to do well for him are when he's talking about the town car and things like that. And you know, it is a frustration being a YouTuber and making quality content like that, and then YouTube's algorithm decides to not feature you because you get pigeonholed into being a certain type of channel or whatever. And it's really a shame because, you know, those are very interesting videos, and I think if YouTube would fix their search engine and, you know, put that stuff out there and suggest it to people, people would watch it and like it. But it seems like YouTube is very narrow-minded on their algorithms, and they just keep promoting the same sorts of things and don't give smaller channels a chance, don't give smaller channels that have some alternative content much support at all. And so you, the viewers, miss out on seeing good videos that are put out by small channels, and maybe topics that are not the norm for that channel. And I don't think we should all be pigeonholed into having such specific channel names and topics that we can't put out any videos other than a very narrow market. But that seems to be what they want us to do. Though I know a lot of you think of me as being mainly a Crown Vic channel, and yet, if you go right now on my channel and list all the videos and then order them by most popular, and you won't find that the Crown Vic videos are on the top as far as views, which I find interesting. Even though nowadays, if I put out a Crown Vic video, it tends to get more, at least initial viewership, than anything else I put out. And when I started this channel, it was never intended to be solely about Crown Vics. It was meant to be, you know, me teaching my kids how to do all the things that I've learned how to do, whether it's fixing cars, fixing houses, whatever. Right before I started the channel is when I discovered the Crown Vics and how wonderful a vehicle they were, and I was already working on the one that I had, which was a 2003, and just not making videos because I didn't have a YouTube channel. I didn't know anything about it really. So there's things that I did to that car that I haven't done to the 08 or the 10. I wish I had videoed, because I know that there's people that ask about it. For example, the power steering pump, I had somebody asking about that the other day. Anyway, what I'm getting at is it's a shame that we get pigeonholed by YouTube search algorithms and are expected to only put out one type of video. It'd be nice if they would give folks a chance, give the smaller channels a chance, let folks be creative and get their videos out there that may be off topic from time to time, but good videos nonetheless. Alright, I'm off my soapbox. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.